Hey girls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jenny Penton, founder of Planner Perfect. In today's video, we're going to be talking about morning and evening routines, which I call pillars, which will not only set you up to succeed in your everyday during the week, but also be able to set you up as a well-oiled machine so that you can actually go for more, reach higher, and reach your dreams. See you in a minute. Welcome back, girls. This is going to be a good one. I've talked about routines before, but I have actually gotten more revelation on how I want to set my routines, and I'm really excited about to share it with you. I used to kind of change up my routines almost quarterly. So every season I would kind of change them up a bit. And I found that as of late, I think, it's funny, whenever things kind of like disrupt your life, if you have family or kids who need you more than normal or things like that, those kind of disruptions can actually lead to greater epiphanies about what you need to do to improve. So I've decided that I needed to create routines that stuck all year round. Like, it is something that I do all year round, that there's no negotiation, that this is what I do, and really create it as a part of me. Sometimes changing things up is a good idea, and sometimes it's not. It's good to have something that you know that you do always, and save the middle of your day as variables, things that can change, that you can mix up. But keep those pillars the same. And so I'm going to switch you around, show you what I came up with, how I came up with it, and let's talk about routines. Hey, welcome back. We are going to be going over how I've changed a schedule that sets me up for complete success, how I've done it. So me doing this is going to be the best thing that's ever happened, where it's a schedule that never changes. And I know in my heart of hearts, God really told me that the schedule that I create should not change. And that way, no matter what's going on, I know what I can't do, what I can do, what I can take on, what I can't take on. And I think also too, when things go wrong, those are great opportunities to how you can learn from it and make change. And so I also noticed that after I took on something that I really shouldn't have, and I should have adhered to my schedule, it kept me behind for about 3 days, which caused fatigue. I had just so much that I learned from an episode I had as of late. So how I'm really how I'm doing a revision, a recast, so to speak, of the schedule I want to keep. Man, that takes some vision, some ideas, some creativity, and some know-how. And I'm going to share with you how I do it. Now, these are my notebooks. They're sold in my store. Absolutely love working in these. I use this for my devotions and my prayer life. I'm going to share with you that in another video. I can't wait on what I'm doing for my quiet time. And for this, I'm using this for morning flow, and this is what I did my schedule in. So we're going to be working in this. So it was kind of like a morning flow here, schedule here, morning flow back at it on the other pages. So we're going to be talking about that here. And this one, this is my running to-do list that we talked about before in another video, where everything is here, and I use this with me when I plan so that I can pluck these things that are additional add-on things that I want to do. They're not that time sensitive, but they're a running list of all of the things that I really want to accomplish and do. And then I take these and I put them in my schedule. So again, I shared that in another video, and we'll share more at the end of the week. So this is what I'm using, and I had to really recast this. I mean, it's like, this cannot change. For the most part, this is what I do. So if my sister says, hey, at this time, can we meet up here? And I'll be like, you know what? I really can't. I've got something I'm doing here, but yeah, you know what? This time I can you? And so it's kind of like really knowing, and it's always great to be flexible, but you'll know what you can be flexible with and what you really can't. And, you know, like, hey, you know what? I did this yesterday. I kind of got that done. So a schedule, though, what's so great about a schedule that sticks and is part of you is that you're set up to be working like a well-oiled machine, and you know what you do and when you do it, and you're on autopilot, and it just sets you up so that during your days, they can vary and be full of different things that you're working on and doing, and or maybe your routine, if you're working outside the home, your routine definitely would be AM, PM. Those are your variable times, whereas the middle of your day is more time blocked and scheduled because you're working in the workplace. So this AM, PM could be your flex, and your center is, more, time slotted. So work it for you and where you're at. For me, I've got to be more tight on my pillars where they're unshakable and unmovable, whereas my center can have some time blocking but mainly flexed. So let's dive right in. So my morning routine, I had to think about what was going to be best, and 5 a.m. do or die, even in the winter, has got to be the time I'm doing it in order to really get ahead of the game, ahead of kids, ahead of everything, making sure I get my devotions in, making sure that I get, some dog training in, getting everything in so that I don't feel overwhelmed in the center of my day. And I don't want that. I want my center of my day to be where I can focus on my children. I can focus on grandchildren. I can focus on some emails for business on a block time. I don't have to worry and stress like, I'm not even dressed yet. I don't want that. Or, Molly hasn't even been looked at all day. The dog, the puppy. I haven't even had devotions for 3 days because I haven't had time. You do have time. You just need to make sure that you cast and vision how you're going to do it, write it down, and do it. Remember, you're not waiting for motivation to get up at 5. You're not waiting for the motivation to make sure you get the devotions and showering and this and this. You do it. You just do it. Motivation follows, and then traction and the momentum follows. But as always, action first, motivation follows. And that way you then gain the feelings to keep going. So 5 o'clock is when I've got to get up, and I've been doing that. Coffee, keep Molly in crate. So I'm not even going down. I set myself up so that Molly, the puppy, doesn't even hear me at all. I kept my coffee up here in my bedroom where I've got this sitting area that I'm going to be doing my devotion. So I set myself up. I got everything up here I need. I don't need to go downstairs. I don't need to disrupt her. She sleeps so good. She's potty trained, lasts all night. She's so good. She's in the crate. We've trained her well. And so now my husband won't be bothered. I have just this little teeny light a candle, and I can sit up here and actually pray, study, and be quiet with some coffee. After I'm done with that, I'm going to go straight to the shower. I'm not even going to go downstairs with Molly yet. But when I do, it'll be 6:30, and that is perfect because that's right about where she can go till 6:30 or 7. So if my husband can help out and get up earlier than me, I just don't want to plan my husband. I've learned to never plan for anybody else. That's their business. That's their life. They've got to want to do that. So I set myself up, and anything, if he were to get up early and he were to do it, then that's like icing on the cake. So, but I have it scheduled for when I'm doing it. Okay. So I keep myself to it. So I do a half hour of play, train, feed, back in crate, 7 a.m. So she comes out in blocks of time because she's got to be watched and played with and focused on, not roaming, because she gets into trouble. So we do blocks of time, and then my boys come in and do blocks, but I don't have that here per se as much as I've got me going. So then I've got 7. This is when I block out my chores. So I've got laundry, kitchen, dishwasher out, breakfast ready for kids, okay? So whether I have my grandsons here or not, whether or not my daughter doesn't need me that day or not, this still is applicable. And this is where I was coming into problems before, is I was like, well, on certain days I can do this, and certain days I can do that, and my schedule can change. Well, guess what? The variable kept me from holding steady each day. I needed to get it stuck where this was something that I do, an automatic pilot. No matter who comes and goes, I'm ready for it, okay? So that's what I did. So this block of time is here. So if my grandkids are here, awesome. If they're not, awesome. I'm ready. Grandkids, if I have them, then this block of hour will be where we'll be snuggling. I'll brush their teeth, change their diapers. If I don't have them, I'm still here where I'm chill for about 1 hour, where I go over my planner, I go in my gratitude journal, and going over my plans. So this is here still a block of where, regardless of who's here and who's not, I'm doing it, okay? So 9 a.m. is breakfast time for kids. If they don't get up when I tell them to get up, or if I've got some boys that are just not up, then they have to make their own breakfast, and they have to completely clean up the kitchen when they're done. But at 9 a.m., I will make them breakfast. So eggs, bacon, whatever that I have scheduled for them, it will be ready at this time. If they don't wake up and the bacon's gone and the eggs are not done, then they're out of luck. So 9 a.m. is breakfast. I already even have certain times. Mondays and Wednesdays are a certain food. Tuesdays and Thursdays are a certain meal. Fridays, certain meal. And yada yada. So this helps me out, because when you're gluten-free, you're already kind of like, you don't have many options. So I wanted to make sure that we vary it, yet we do kind of stick to the same foods week after week. It's just varied on certain days, so no one gets it doesn't get too monotonous. Then 9:30 cleanup. This is when they can the kids can go shower, brush their teeth, and come back down. And then I've got a block time, okay? This is 10 a.m. to noon. This is where I work, okay? So this is when I work. The kids do their chores. If I have littles, like my grandboys, then they will be with my older sons doing their chores, making their bed. They can accompany them with that. I'm going to have my sons watch them for 2 hours. That is just what they do. Well, I do some vital stuff, whether it be YouTube videos. It'll vary for me on what I need to do on any certain given day. But this is a block that is for me, that I can focus on my business, so that I'm not wishing or worrying about certain things about my business when I should be focusing on children. So I make sure that this time is for me to get back on emails, do Zoom calls, do my videos, do this, go live, do whatever I got to do. But this is the time for me to do it, and what my kids are doing while I'm doing it. So that really works out really well. Then I've got lunch, and I even have where I have lunch ideas. Again, when you don't have gluten and grains, things get weird. And so I want to make sure I've got my go-tos, and I wrote it down. But that's the lunch hour, is noon, about noon to 12:30, and this is when we do cleanup, and this is when I do my laundry. Now this was also a new epiphany that I had, that I'm doing laundry, and I tighten it up and end it right after lunch. So I'm not going to go all day, and every time someone throws something in, I be sure to do it. No, that goes to the next day's laundry. So I have a step that we clean up, and then I'm going to run upstairs and tighten it up. I'm going to finish up that last load. Usually it's 2, maybe 3 for the day. If anything, it'd be little. And then I would button it up. It's done, folded, put away, and anything else goes into a basket for the next day. Between 1 and 4 now, this is where it's free time. It's me and the babies. It's me, it's kids, my kids, it's children time. These are flex. This is a flex time. It's taking and pulling from all of my list of amazing things that I want to do. It's because I wrote some really creative things I can do with them. It's science experiments, it's museums, it's a beach day, it's out to lunch, it's all of these different things, but I'm focusing on children from 1 to 4. I don't have anything else I have my mind on except them. It's learning something new. It's doing something new. It's working in a workbook over summer. It's stuff like that. 4 to 5 is meal prep. 5 o'clock is always dinner. 5:30 to 6 is always cleanup. And this is blocked because I need it to be. 6 to 9 is workout. So whether I work outside the home and do the strength training, or I'm here just doing a treadmill, it doesn't matter. Between 6 to 9 is when I'm either working out on the treadmill or working out and doing strength training, coming back and showering. Then from 9 to 10 is when I am journaling, looking over my planner for the next day. My kids will help me. We'll just kind of pick up the main hubs of the home, and it's to bed by 10. So then I do break it down by daily schedule. So this is my AM, this is my PM. And in terms of my daily schedule, I really have it knocked out of the park for me on what certain days I do certain things. So today's video was mainly about the pillars that hold me up, and this is where it's varied. These Mondays are different than Tuesdays. Tuesdays are different than Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. However, this is what will be main components of what I do, and they really won't change. But in between all of the scheduling of certain blocked days as my daily, even though these are varied, then there'll also be varied things I do with children. My weekends, I really wanted to keep, Saturdays especially, keep them sacred. I'm not working out and there are no commitments. So I'm doing nothing but just chilling. And whether we boat, whether we decide to go outside as a family, take walks with Molly and play, it doesn't matter. I'm free, and I'm keeping it that way all year round. Sunday though, I do keep as some, and then journaling is something that nights are my Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays and Sundays. Those are my heavy journaling days where I keep up with my prompts. And it keeps me motivated and moving in a forward direction. So I do have that down, which is awesome. Sunday checklist. This is also very, very, this is like where I really can't mess. Okay. So this is non-negotiable. And Sundays, I've got my morning block where I'm up, I'm feeding my babies and all of that. But in the afternoon, I can swap out Saturday for Sunday. Let's say my husband wants to go boating and it's rainy here and sunny here. I can swap the days out if I want to. I can definitely be flexible with that. But one of these days has to be a day that I set myself up, and that's bake any of my baked goods that are gluten-free for the week. All my laundry is tidied up, made sure that it's buttoned up and done. And that is when I do my bedding on all the beds, washed, put back on. My meals are planned. My fridge is cleaned. My protein is cooked through Wednesday. The lizard cage is cleaned with the help of my sons. Molly's little things and her bandanas are cleaned and put back in her little bin. My plans are made. And all of that is done. So this is my schedule. And then I just wrote down my dinner ideas for breakfasts and lunches, and even through July. These are going to be transferred to my menu planner and my planner. But this has just been so vital. It's amazing. It's tried and true. It will last me all year. It will not change. The only thing that will be the pockets of within my days that are designated for just flex. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope that this has motivated you to really make sure that you think through some schedules, so your schedule for yourself, so that you can run like a well-oiled machine and actually get things done that propel you forward instead of always being in the rears, always being reactive rather than proactive. This keeps you proactive so that you can face life head on. Be proactive about the goals and dreams you want to pursue, and you'll have a leg on the table of just you've got your crap together basically. And so in order to do that, it's going to take some vision and some thought and some casting. I had to do some recasting because it just wasn't working. Use times that don't work as a time to figure things out and to make some changes and learn from it. Always. So that's what I did. I hope that this inspires you to get going and creating a plan that sticks and that sets you up so that you can go for your dreams. Thanks, you guys, as always, and until next time.